Hey, True Art Believers! If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Not only is it free, but there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor also distributes your podcast for you. It can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, True Art Believers, and welcome to today's installment of the Artist Interview Series. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. Actually, I'm sorry, it hasn't been a while because I've been doing live streams every day, but it has been a while since I've done an artist interview, so I'm back to doing that. And welcome. Today, I'll be talking with Paulette Brinkman-Wright, who has been a photographer since she was 11 years old, when her mother allowed her to start using up all the film in her brownie camera. What's a brownie camera? We're going to find that out. I'm going to find out, actually. I don't know what it is. Is it an actual brownie? Do you eat it afterwards? I don't know. Years later, Paulette was gifted with her first Nikon camera, which is, to the layman, that's apparently a very expensive camera. She now has 4 of them. So she had 1. Now she's, she got 4 of them. Paulette brings her camera with her wherever she goes, because you never know what you will see and when you will be needing to capture the perfect shot. Before we start, make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell. Thank you and enjoy the show. Paulette, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm hopefully you're going to be the master of filibusters today, because if I talk for longer than 5 seconds, I am just going to start. My voice is just going to start cracking. It's just going to get cracky, and it's going to sound terrible. It's going to be like, hey, Paulette, I'm going to need to ask you a question.
Sound like an old man.
Yeah, it's gonna get real raspy real soon. That's why I have a bunch. I have water everywhere. I have 3 cups of big old cups of water here, just to periodically hydrate and keep my throat from drying out. So,
Right.
Paulette, how are things?
Great. It's awesome. Yeah, it's I live in North Carolina, and the weather has been really, really nice. We're supposed to get storms probably tomorrow. And our dog kind of feels it, I think, because he's acting a little weird this evening. But yeah, everything's good.
Everything's good.
Yep, everything's good.
So,
Just
Paulette,
chugging,
go ahead. Go. Where are you going to finish?
just chugging along with my art and trying to get it out there as much as I can. So I'm sure glad that you contacted me about doing this.
Paulette, how do you get your work out there? What are some things that you do to get your work out there?
I am on Facebook almost
You're,
every day.
you're on Facebook?
Facebook, yeah. Yeah. I'm on Facebook every day, and I make a post with one of my pieces of art, and I say a little bit about it, and then of course, I add a link to it to my art storefront's website, and I put it on my regular Facebook page, my Write Fine Art Facebook page, and lately I've also been, my husband was in a band, and for a long time, and then this pandemic hit, and a couple of the guys moved away, et cetera, et cetera. So the band no longer exists, but I use the band's website with his permission and I put my, I use the same, what am I trying to say? I put that one, every day I put that one ad on 4 different platforms. And one of those is Last Man Standing. And then the 4th platform I put it on is Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm doing this, like I said, just about every day. Because weekends I kind of take off a little bit because it's the weekend, you got to chill a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pretty much trying to saturate and get out there and let people know that I'm, have stuff to sell.
How
So,
long do you spend in in the social media realm in a day?
way too much. Well, in order to do that, that takes me about 45 minutes, which really isn't too bad considering, but I want to pick the right image for that day. I want to make sure I say the correct things. I want to make sure that I'm, for example, that I'm hitting all the boxes. For example, if you sign up for email, you automatically get a 20% coupon off on your whole basket. So I'm trying to push that. When it comes to like Father's Day, for Father's Day, I ran a promotion for the whole month before, so that people would understand that, they can get, I think it was a 35% off coupon, and it was good until a certain point. So I do those a lot, and hopefully to generate, some interest in my artworks, my photography. And I do have, I also, I think I told you that I do paintings also, mostly abstracts. But I don't concentrate that much on putting the paintings out there because I'd really rather be known for my photographs.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So that's pretty much what I do.
So that's about 7 hours a week of just social media as a job, not as entertainment.
Oh, correct. I'll whip through Instagram, after I get done and just, see what other people are doing. But I can't really take the time anymore because after I do that, then I start looking through my photographs and seeing. I only want to put up the best photographs, only the best images. So I look through everything that I've got, which is like, oh my, I don't know, like 18 years worth of photographs. The first ones aren't as high res as the last one, the ones after I got the Nikon. So I really have to be careful what I put up. But yeah, that's what I do. Between that and the dog and, feeding my husband, that's kind of what I do.
What um what guidelines or what measurement of quality are you using to determine what makes the best work? Because when I sell work, I come at it in the frame of like me personally, I think this piece is garbage. Like if I was looking at one of my pieces that wasn't that good, I was like, oh, this is awful. But you don't know. You never know. Some person might love this piece for that specific reason that you dislike it. So what do you use as a measuring device?
Generally, if I like it.
Do you have a thumbs up and thumbs down method?
Yeah, kind of. It's not literally thumbs up and thumbs down, but yeah, I'll look at it, I'll bring it into Photoshop, and if it isn't high res enough, because with my Nikon, I'm taking some bodacious large images. And
Bodacious.
bodacious. I
This is
mean,
the first time I heard someone say bodacious in one of my interviews.
well, there you go.
I'm going to hear it. You know what's going to happen now? The next interview I have, the person's going to say bodacious.
Yeah, sure, of course. But like I said, if you saw the images that I sent to you, and those are really a lot of my favorites, especially the one called oh God, now I can't remember what it's called.
How large are they?
Oh, they're huge.
How large can you make them?
actually, with the amount of pixels that I've got on my camera, that my camera takes, I can make them. Let's see, what's the biggest one that I did? Oh yeah, there was one called Tiramisu, and it was of just a shop that was on a side street in. I know where it is. I'm sorry, I was in an accident a couple years ago, and my brain sometimes doesn't come with me. It doesn't matter where it was, but anyway, and it is 36 inches high, at least 36 inches high, like almost 48 inches wide.
So that's the native size, like the native, like when you take a photo with that, that's the minimum size that it comes at.
No,
or is that how much you can blow it up to?
That's how much, because of the pixels, the number of pixels that my Nikons shoot at. That's how big I can make things. I took it up. I took it way up. It's called It's called Tiramisu, and you can find it on my website. It's really huge. What I have downstairs to put back up on the wall, because it was hanging in a show last month. It's just huge. It takes both of us to put it on the wall. Yeah.
Is it for you? Is it about the pixels, or is it there are other things, defining factors with your photographs, or do you like to make huge photographs? Do you like the ability to make them as large as you can?
I do. That's why the cameras that I have. It doesn't matter. I mean, I can make them as small as somebody wants. Whatever. I mean, they start out like at $25 a piece on my website, but that's for like an 8x10, and that's fine. They'll be just as perfect as a 40 by whatever as an 8x10. It doesn't matter. But I like huge. Really like huge.
Did you ever use a camera that had like 2 megapixels?
Oh God, yes. Okay, the Brownie. A Brownie camera was one of the first. I don't think it was made by a company.
Edible cameras.
Yeah, small, very small. Like it was brown. It was like this. Oh man, I'm sorry. Let me get back. It was probably about maybe 4x4. Okay, and it was a square.
Okay,
and it was plastic, and it used, of course, roll film. And I would, you just kind of look down into it, or Mom had she would always upgrade, which was really cool. So the last ones, you did have to hold it up like this to shoot, and very primitive though, extremely primitive. And oh man, they had like maybe 2 pixels, maybe. So anything that came out of it wasn't blurry, but you really couldn't blow it up. Whereas, when I got the Nikon, I can't even remember how many pixels it had. It was like huge. Oh, well, I went
by
from
comparison.
Oh God, yes. I went from the Brownies to Kodaks, because they were upgrading their pixels just about every 2 years. You could get one, but they still didn't have enough that I could blow stuff up, without pixelating and looking funny. I also have a program that I don't have to use very often now, that allows me to add pixels, and which is kind of freaky. But I don't use it anymore because I have such good cameras now that the pixels are automatically there when I need them. I mean, and even blowing them up to do stuff on my website on Art Storefronts, it's no big deal,
And that, what was that program? Was it like a program that used like AI to kind of add more pixels as it enlarged?
Yes, basically it was, and I can't remember the name of it right now. Again, that little accident thing. But yeah, you could bring the picture in, and as long as you didn't try to make it too much bigger, like 3 times bigger or anything, it really did a good job, and it didn't pixelate at all. So I used that for a few years until I got really, really good with my Nikon and really, really good with Photoshop. I love Photoshop. I tried using, let's see, the other one. Oh God, I can't remember. It comes with Photoshop sometimes. I can't remember what it is, but I
After
don't.
Effects, InDesign.
Actually, I've used After Effects too, to do some other funky stuff. No, oh God, it's another program like
GIMP, Procreate. I don't. I don't know any other ones.
I don't know. Anyway, but I really didn't like any of the others. I'm so used to Photoshop that I can breeze through Photoshop with no problems. So I'm just a Photoshop techie.
Do you pay for the monthly subscription, or do you have like an older version that you use?
I have an older version, but I got it when I I was trying to learn Photoshop, and so I went to NC State and bought my version of Photoshop there. I think, golly, that's been about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe more. And that's the version I use. And I've heard from other artists that they, whatever that they first used on is what they still use, which is kind of freaky. But yeah, I still use that, and I have no problems with it. It does a great job of doing what I want it to do. So I just stick with it.
Well, the reason why I was asked because I believe so I use sort of Photoshop as well, but like I don't know if any of the current editions of Photoshop you can just buy like a hard copy. Like it's all like you have to pay for the service now to use the hardware, or is it software? Hardware is software. Okay, the hardware is the object. You have to use the software. You got to pay for a monthly subscription.
Yeah, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, because now you can't get those older stuff anymore.
Right. Since I bought it at NC State because I was taking classes, I could get it at a reduced price, and you didn't really have. I registered it, and that's all I had to do. I don't have to pay any fees or anything monthly or whatever. So, which I like. I think it's silly for them to do that. I mean, if you're gonna charge an exorbitant price, $600 and $700 for your software, why do I have to pay you again? More than that.
Well, I think the idea is you pay like $50 a month, $19.99 a month, depending on what you're using, and you don't have to pay for new upgrades. It's just they'll just upgrade it, and you won't have to pay, you won't have to buy a new one. Buy an updated version of Photoshop when they get a new one. Like so like if they came out with a new Photoshop next year, and you're still paying for the subscription, it's going to automatically update. As opposed before, you had to like, oh, do I want to keep using the current version of the Photoshop version that I'm right now, or do I want to upgrade and pay an extra $700? So that's the concept behind it. Oh, so
yes.
Paulette, I
gotta go this way. Sorry.
I don't want to be braggy, but I try to keep a very tight schedule. And oftentimes it wavers from now and then, but like usually it's by the time the average person wakes up, I've already drawn for 2 hours, and I've already exercised. I've had a cup of coffee, had some chocolate milk after my exercise because I want to have a treat, and then way before the average person wakes up, and I do that because I have to be pretty hyper organized, or else if I don't, nothing will get done. I won't get my my artistic goals done, because the average artist, not all artists are working full time as an artist. You know, so a lot of them are doing it on the side. Even more so if you live in New York when you're really trying to make it, and you have to pay like, I don't know how much rent is there, but I'm assuming it's really, really
Oh,
expensive.
yeah.
It's rent is 1 month's rent is how much I make a year. Um,
Yeah.
and so like you literally have to by default just work, and art is your side hustle. But like,
Mhm.
um, what do you do? What is your organizational habits? You know, that allows you to keep ticking and allows you to keep creating, allows you to schedule time to take photographs. How do you function as an artist through managing your time?
Okay. Managing my time. I'm terrible. Um, I get up when I get up, only because we go to bed kind of late and we have a dog and he's 90 pounds of love.
90 pounds of love.
90 pounds. He's an English Shepherd. Um, I get up, I guess I usually get up anywhere between 7:45 and 9 o'clock.
Nice. What's it
Yeah,
like?
it is. Hey, well, you don't want to know how old I am, but I'm,
Uh,
all right, I just turned 69. Okay. I have been through many, many, many jobs, and I feel like, okay,
you
I
earned
want to
it.
do this. Yes, I earned this. So that's what I'm going to do. So
Yeah.
I eat breakfast. The dog and I take the dog for a walk. So, he has to do his
How many
thing.
gallons of how many gallons of coffee do you have in the morning?
Oh, I can only have one.
So 1 gallon.
I, no, 1 cup of regular coffee. That's all I can have a day because I am a type 2 diabetic and I have some other things going on that I'm not allowed to have a lot of caffeine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I have to. It's
Coffee has really
not
strong
really.
caffeine.
Oh God, yes, yeah. Um, Tom Horton's blend, just his regular blend, is just awesome for me. I love it. But after that, I drink decaf. If I have something at lunch or at dinner, most of the time I don't do it at lunch, but I generally have a cup at dinner, but it'll be decaf
Hmm.
is what I have. But that's, and yeah, some days I'm just tired. And so I don't get a lot done. But, I get up, walk the dog, after breakfast. And the, and this is going to sound really bizarre, but I have to read my Washington Post every morning.
Oh yeah.
I, it's just, yeah,
The
it's on
whole
my
thing.
Kindle,
The whole
the whole newspaper.
newspaper.
Well, it's not. It's on my Kindle, so I can
Okay.
flip through. Yeah, and of course, the comics are last, and I read the comics, and after that, that's when I really get started. So it's usually it's probably about 10:30 by the time I really get going, and figuring out what I come up to my computer, uh, read my email, unfortunately, and then I start looking at the photographs that I have uploaded, or even the artworks that I have uploaded, because like I said, I've uploaded a few of my abstracts, and kind of figure out what I'm going to post for the day on my Facebook or whatever, and that usually takes me about anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, which really isn't too bad considering I'm posting on 4 different formats.
Yeah.
Um, and really, Instagram is the only one that I have to really kind of change it a little bit, because the others are all Facebook pages, just different Facebook pages.
Hmm.
Then um, after that, I don't want to say that I'm usually done, because I do come back and go through things and see what I have on my plate, as far as do I have a show coming up that I really need to get ready for, which ones am I going to put in that show? Am I going to do my paintings, or am I going to do my photography? Most of the time I choose my photography because I have so much more of it to put out there.
Uh-huh.
And by the end of the day, I've done probably 3 to 6 hours of work depending. And it depends upon the dog too, because sometimes he gets just so restless, and I have to take him outside and play with him, and so that gets me breaks during the day because my
So,
husband's working. I mean, he's
so,
working in the office, and he's got a highly, what do I want to say? Okay, the company he works for is Jacobs Engineers, and he is the lead electrical and instrumentation engineer in the office here in Cary. Well, the office in Cary is separate from all the other offices in the entire, and not even the United States, in the world, because they only do government work. And that's all I can tell you.
so it's very important work.
It is. It's very important work. It's highly sensitive work. Yes, he does talk. Oh, I shouldn't even say that. Never mind. I understand what he does because he trained me as an electrical designer. So, you can't go through life and not be able to talk to your wife or your husband about what you do. So he gives me little snippets, but nothing that, is going to cause the NSA to come knocking on our door or anything like that. So, but yeah, anyway, so since he's doing that in the office, I'm in charge of the dog, and he is high maintenance. But we love him to pieces. He's a rescue dog. We um we lost our other dog about 3 years ago, and 2 years after that, Hank was going to go back to work, and I was going to be alone again and without a dog. So we found Border Collie Rescue site, and we found Jax that way, our dog that
Mhm.
we have now. Turns out he's not a Border Collie. He is a purebred English Shepherd, and he was found on the side of the road somewhere out in Pembroke County in North Carolina. And he just loves us to pieces. He has to be with us all the time. And so he takes up a lot of my time too. So that's my day.
It's the that I've talked to people about the rescue industry about dogs, and how the, the I think the industry, it's too big, because what happens is you have like parents who buy a dog for their kid, and then the kid realizes, oh, this isn't like Disney
Oh, yeah.
Wonderland, happy fun time Dogland. It's, I gotta take care of it, clean up after it, and
Mhm.
feed it and give it water, and I have responsibility. It's or and like the dad's probably like, you need to make sure that the dog doesn't get anything, and then all of a sudden they find out it's quote unquote too much for them, right?
Right.
And then they're like, well, um, let's go to a one of those adoption clinics or places. What are they called? Rescue centers or
Yeah, rescue centers. Yeah.
let's just turn the dog in there, and then someone will take them.
Yeah.
Um, and then like I've seen those photos of
Oh,
after they emptied out the kennels, and it's awful.
it is.
I'm like, and like it's disturbing. They're throwing these passed away dogs into like giant Rubbermaid trash tubs,
Yes.
and I'm just like,
How can
guys,
you do
man,
that?
like
Yeah.
guys, you should take some responsibility a little bit. Like
Mhm.
you you're yeah. Some of them are. If you drop off the dog at a rescue center, some are going to be rescued,
Mhm.
but not all, and
Mhm.
a lot more than you think are not going to be rescued.
Right.
And you can go home feeling all cozy and warm inside, believing that your dog might find someone, but the reality is it might not be. They might not be rescued, and that saddens me a lot. Like, it
Oh, it
saddens me
hurts me bad.
so much that exists.
When they show the commercials on TV about the dogs that are being rescued, the SPCA, I can't watch those commercials. My husband and I will just up, put our heads down, or look at our food, or if we're eating dinner or something. We just can't deal with it because it's disgusting what people do to dogs, animals in general. It's heartbreaking. It's
Yeah.
absolutely heartbreaking. I did see, though, about a month or 6 weeks ago, somewhere in there was a caravan taking rescued dogs out west where they were very wanted, so people could adopt them, and they were making sure that they were adopted, not that they were just going to let them out in the plains or anything. And they had a caravan where they would one group would drive them so far, and then the next group would put them in their van or whatever they had and drive them the next leg and stuff, and they took them all the way out west. And I thought that was brilliant. I really did,
Yeah.
because they were going to find them homes. It wasn't just going to be drop off on the side of the road, which is obviously what happened to our little boy. And on the way home, we had to drive about 2 hours to go get him, and another couple hours, of course, come back.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way home, he was only about a year and a half. They guessed 2 years old. I had to sit in the back with him of the car, and he sat and looked at me the whole time home. I mean, just looked in my eyes, and I was petting him and talking to him the whole drive home. It was just, oh, I just wanted to cry, but I just kept talking to him and letting him know he was fine now and stuff. And he knew when we opened up the gate on the back of the vehicle, he jumped out and he went right to the backyard, like he knew exactly where he was. It was awesome. But yes, we know that we'll only have him for a certain amount of time, and that's the hardest part. But it is what it is. We have him for however long he's going to be with us, and we're happy. He's happy. That's awesome.
So, in between all of this, how do you schedule your photography sessions? What do you do?
Well, they're not really sessions.
Okay.
I have a tendency to. Okay, you saw the one with the rainbow, right? Leprechaun sandal. They're kind of like that.
How much gold did you find?
None, unfortunately.
Did you
And in
find
fact,
any Bitcoin?
no.
There was
In
no
fact,
Bitcoin there.
no.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I looked.
Did you look deeper into the computer?
No, I didn't. I'll have to
At
do
the end
that.
of the rainbow, the computer that's at the end of the rainbow.
No. But that one, okay.
Okay.
I was in a little town called Cary and driving home, and I saw that just little pieces and parts of that rainbow. And I thought, there's got to be more to it than this. And on the drive home, I kept my usual route, and I kept seeing more and more parts of it. And turned out that rainbow was right before I got to our house. It was in a field right before I got to our house. And let me tell you, I threw my car into the driveway. There was a driveway there. I don't know whose house it belonged to, but there was a driveway there. So I threw my car in there and jumped out, and I took all of the panels that I stitched together. And I just love that picture. I really do. I'm so proud of that. But that's how I take my pictures most of the time.
So
And
your photography is kind of like finding moments.
yes,
Literally,
exactly.
you capture a moment in time as you experience it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. I don't go looking, but for the most part, there's some funky cows down the road that I really should, just stop and ask the owner if I can. They're like furry cows.
Furry cows.
Yeah, they're like
They're furrier than normal cows.
oh yeah, that's hanging off of them.
They
They're
look
kind of
like bears.
no, not like bears. Okay, all right, hang
Oh no,
on.
you're being called. I
No,
told
no,
you.
no, no, no. I turned it off. It was an Amber Alert, and I just got rid of it. Okay, because they're usually in a different part of the state. No, they're oh, what's they're like from Asia or
Okay.
someplace, and they actually have coats of fur, and they're just the cutest. They're like buffalo fur kind of things. Just adorable. I'm not going to get in the pen with them, but I know that the owner does,
Yeah.
and feeds them and stuff like that. But I just want to get some really neat pictures of them. And there's just places I want to drive to. There's lots of parks around where we live, so I like to go into the parks and get different shots and stuff, and that kind of stuff. I have actually taken photos of other people's artwork and who didn't know how to size them up at all. And I actually showed them how to do it. So I kind of shot myself in the foot there because they were paying me like $25 a piece for each piece of art that I was photographing. But whatever.
Is that cheap or expensive?
It's cheap.
I thought it's like I thought it can range from like up to $50.
Oh, I'm sure. And probably more, depending upon what kind of equipment they have and that kind of thing. But
and how good you are,
well, they're my friends. So
well, I mean, like I'm just like because photographing art is hard. It can be difficult.
It is. It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, like trying to figure out with my mom's brownie how to really, the pictures would come, the roll of pictures would come back, developed, and it's like, wow, that's ugly. Why did I do that? Kind of thing. But that's how, you learn after a while, what makes a good picture and what doesn't, and et cetera, et cetera.
What makes a good picture?
That's a good question. I think probably subject matter is one thing. It has to be interesting to the person looking at it. I think if you had, just taking pictures of flowers is okay, but after a while it kind of gets boring.
Okay.
I think there either has to be some kind of movement or there has to be something interesting in it. Maybe, a fence line that's kind of like has barbed wire on it, and and in the background is a field and maybe some cows or something. That's interesting. You have to learn. You have to learn how to look. Learn how to see, not really just look, but learn how to see what you are doing, what you're going to photograph. Shoot, I've taken photographs outside the window of the car. But it was far enough away. I've got one called, that's not on my website yet. It's a picture of West Virginia and the West Virginia hills and it was autumn. And so the man, it was just flaming and beautiful. And I took it out the car window, and darn if it didn't turn out, because it was a fast shutter speed. And I just love that picture. My husband loves it. He's from West Virginia, and he just absolutely loves that picture. So it just, I think it also has to tug at your heart. You have to be able to see beyond that it's just a picture.
Mm-hmm.
People look down a little bit at photographers.
They do?
Well, kind of, because it's just photography. Anybody can do that. No, they can't. They really can't. It takes an eye to really see. And I know that sounds stupid. That was really stupid, but it really takes. I mean, you really have to be able to see like an artist.
Well, also like to know the features of those expensive cameras, you gotta know what you're doing. You know, there are
Oh,
so many things you could do with those cameras. There's
mm-hmm.
so many different lenses. They all do different things, and you know, like they all have their own little like
Quirks.
like specific like software inside
Mhm.
the camera now. Like they have like their own little program in there, how they function, they work.
Yep.
You know, like their own little operating system, and it's not easy. You know, like
No, it's not.
the iPhone and Android spoiled people into thinking that they know how to
Oh,
take
yeah.
photographs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When I got my Nikon, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, obviously, I'd never had a camera like that. So, and I didn't really, I just kind of started playing with I read the book. I didn't read the book, but I would look things up in the manual that came with it, very thick manual. And that's how I taught myself. But we were in Virginia at that time. And not soon after that, we moved to Houston, Texas, outside of Houston, Texas. And I took a class with a lady who absolutely knew every camera on the face of the earth, I think. And she showed us how to use our cameras, what each button did, how to find this, how to find that, um, how to shoot with a conscience, I guess is what I want to say, but really how to use our cameras. I mean, she could go from the Nikons to the whatevers, desk to desk, and say, no, yours is right here, and yours is right here for that, and yours is right here for that. And she was incredible. She was
Mhm.
absolutely incredible. And in one day's time, she taught me so much about my camera. It was awesome. And she's obviously a photographer herself. She does wildlife photography out in Texas, and just a wonderful woman. But yeah, I had to take a class to really figure out what buttons I needed to change, how I needed to change to do this, how for night work, and everything. It was fascinating and really a good thing that I did that. And I started shooting better too after that.
What's your least favorite subject matter to photograph?
Mm. Probably people.
People?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's because people get when you show them the shots that you took, even though you know that they're good, when they look at them, they don't think they're that good. They think that I should make them look better somehow. And it's like,
Like they're supposed to be smiling?
well, not so much. Well, it doesn't matter if they're smiling or not. I mean, smiles are better, than being growly, but I think it's because they expect so much from a photograph that but the camera could only do so much with it.
Hmm.
I can soften images and things of that make them look a little, you get that little soft blurry effect kind of thing, and people kind of like that, but they get way too in your face about it sometimes, and I'm just not going to take that. you know I'm 69 years old. I don't have to take that.
They're like, I need you to make my biceps look bigger.
Yeah, I need my
And
face to be longer. Take those wrinkles out. It's like, really?
give me some big traps on my neck here. I want some bigger traps. I was like, I'm sorry I can't help you on the bigger traps, bud.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, dude.
yeah, talk to a
Go to the
trainer.
gym.
Talk to a trainer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they could. People are a little more. My family, of course, I photograph them, but they're my family. They love me.
Do you have a favorite subject matter?
Wow, favorite subject matter. It's probably landscapes.
Landscapes? Any
Yeah,
particular type of landscape?
not really. If something jumps in front of me, like the one, oh God, Mirrored Island. It's a long one. Mirrored Island is really one of my favorites. That one actually hangs in my dentist office. He loved it, and so he bought that one for his waiting room. If you look at the photographs, It's the one where the island is kind of jutting out, and it's a
Mhm.
pano kind of. And I really like that one a lot. I like the one that I can't show you too. That one was just a spur of the moment. It was I was standing on the edge of Central Park on the, I don't know if it's west or south, and I saw this group of buildings, and well, let me hold it up for you so you can see it. Okay, I gotta figure this out. Can you see that?
I can.
Okay. Well, that little building right here just kind of puzzled me. Whoop, other way, Colette. This way, this way. There we go. That little building in the middle just puzzled me. It is a condo in the city of New York. And so it's called City Condo. But I just thought that was unusual to have all these taller buildings on either side, and you have this little city condo in there, Unusual.
Was it one person's condo or was it multiple condos?
I have no idea. I think it was multiples. I think there were multiple. Like they probably each had a level, or half
It
of a
was.
level.
What if it was just one condo, but it was Jeff Bezos' condo?
There you go. That's okay. That's what I saw.
Or Gary Vaynerchuk's condo, or do you know that person?
I know the name. I can't remember what he's famous for, but I know the name.
He was on before when YouTube first started. He was like the first person to do a video that was longer than a minute or something. Like he was doing like 30-minute to an hour long videos. Wow. Where he was rating. He was rating wine. He was giving ratings of wine. Like he was doing like a little wine survey, and he did like that. He did it for like three years straight, or two years straight. Like and it was interesting to hear, because like the first year he got like no views, no one was watching. He got like and then like the second year, you like still no one was watching, and then something like just catapulted him,
Huh.
and he was something catapulted him, so he was able to leverage that to start his own marketing company, because he did a lot of stuff on the internet that was brand new, and people wanted him to invest in these startups, And so that's what he did. Who's that guy, that motivational speaker that's like 8 feet tall? He's got a deep voice.
8 feet tall with a deep voice. I don't know.
Tony Little, Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking about him. Because I was thinking I was gonna reference Tony Robbins as the guy that owns that condo. I don't know. He's like 12 feet. He's like 12 feet tall. It sounds like Andre the Giant.
Oh yeah. You're right.
He's a very tall dude, and he's got a deep, raspy voice because he talks for like 12 hours straight.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Doesn't he? When he goes to those seminars, he's like talking like nonstop.
Mm-hmm. And he's drinking water constantly, not because, I know that you're ill, or.
Well, probably because he's got to keep his throats like.
Oh God, yes.
Drying out.
Absolutely.
That's probably why his voice sounds like that, because he's been just talking nonstop.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't imagine doing that. That's just no. I find it hard to kind of keep a subject going, or go on to a different subject, and anyway.
So you don't like taking photographs of people because they're not, you don't want to. You got more alerts happening?
I think so. Hang on a second.
I'm hanging.
You want to see that? No, we're good.
So you don't like taking photographs of people? Well,
the other thing you get into, though, is even if you do it as street photography. I got into a situation with someone that I took a picture of it around Christmas time, and he was a street musician, And, I was across the street from him, and I held up my camera up, and I went, "Can I?" Like, "May I?" And he was still doing his saxophone, and he shook his head yes. So I took his picture. I'm a photographer, which he should have known that. So I put it on my website because he was standing in front of a bank, and it was really a good picture. And probably this is why I don't take pictures of people anymore. About 6 months later, I get something from his lawyer that says they want copyright, they want part of the proceeds from the sale of that picture, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, look, I have never sold that picture. And if you want me to, I'll just take it off my website and we can be done.
Yeah.
And so he talked to his client, and that's what we decided on. So I've never put that picture back up again. It's really a good picture too.
I mean, probably it could be the musicians lost too, because sometimes just having a photo of you out there, or having your name out there in a different area, I think that's the reason why Marvel is pretty lenient with a lot of like fan art going out there right now.
Yeah.
Is because it just makes their name larger, because they're so like they allow it. I'm sure that they could be handing out, what are those things called when the lawyer sends you something?
Yeah, subpoenas, not really subpoenas,
or
cease and desist orders or something.
Yeah, they send you letters to cease and desist. They could be handing that out to every like Instagram artist,
Oh, absolutely.
But it just helps the product, helps the name.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't, this person didn't realize that. So I just, decided to take it off. I'll probably print it for myself, because and I'm surprised that I haven't done that yet. But I have so much art. We have so much art hanging in our house. It's just crazy. I went to this blew me away. For a little while, 4 or 5 years ago, we were going to estate auctions, and not auctions, but estate sales. And this one Saturday, I was looking through estate sales on my phone, and this one had oh God, what's his name? And not Picasso's, but the guy who does all freaky things with the floppy clocks and stuff. And now I can't think of his name.
Dali.
Yes, Salvador Dali's, and he had some other stuff. And I thought, well, they're probably prints. But I said, hey, you want to go to an estate sale? He says, sure, why not? They're real. I bought for $350. I bought a large, signed and numbered Dali, smaller signed and numbered Dali, and then I bought like 6 or 7 other pieces that were signed and numbered prints, and one of them was block printing, and I still haven't gotten them appraised and everything, and I only paid $350 for the whole lot. And I stood there to pay, and my hands were shaking because I'm just a little farm girl from Ohio, and I have a Salvador Dali. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. So yeah, we have a lot of art. We buy art when we're on vacation. We bought a huge painting from when we were on Maui one year, and it's just such a beautiful painting. It's got gold, not gold leaf, but she used gold paint in certain parts of it, and it's called I think it's called Golden Tree. It's got a little pond in front with a rope swing and stuff, and it was just beautiful. We couldn't walk away from it, and we don't really do that often.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're not rich people. We're okay, we're doing okay, but we're not rich people, so it's not like we have all kinds of Picassos and everything, around. He was the first artist that I really, really latched onto, was Picasso. He and oh, what is that gentleman's name? He paints like he has astigmatism a long, long time ago.
Van Gogh?
No, he was a Greek artist, I believe. El Greco. Yeah, it was El Greco. And I loved his work. I just absolutely loved his work. I've actually seen him in person once, and I just wanted to stand there for the rest of the day and just look at that painting. Yes, I love art.
So when you
Yeah.
take photographs, and it's in the moment, how many photographs are you taking to capture that moment?
If it's a pano, I'll probably take 5 or 6.
Okay.
And I'll probably do that like 2 or 3 times just to make sure I got it. If I'm standing in front of something, like just a scene in front of me, I'll still take 3 or 4 just to make sure that one isn't blurry,
Yeah.
that I get the shot correctly,
Yeah.
that it's not blurry, that it's sharp, yeah, just 5 or 6. I've got my one Nikon, my original one, set so that I can do bursts, and so I do that a lot. And then I'll just take the one that I like, and I have a habit of keeping all of my pictures though, so I got to really clear out pretty soon, otherwise I'm going to max out my hard drive.
Do you back up your hard drive?
Oh yeah, I always back. Yes, I do have a backup drive, an external backup drive that I'm on my second one.
Do you have a RAID?
A RAID array? No, I don't. I don't think my computer right now that I have will, although it is a gaming computer, so I'm sure I could set up a couple of RAIDs to put this stuff here and put this stuff here, to separate my normal email and that kind of thing from my photographs. I probably could do that. I don't know why I didn't. But
Like the RAIDs that have like the 10 hard drive slots.
yeah, that's a RAID array.
Yeah.
Hey,
I thought about getting one of those. I don't know. I might. We'll see.
Yeah, I worked in one of the it wasn't an architectural firm, it was an engineering firm. Oh, I don't know, when we were in Virginia, and one of the things I did in addition to electrical design, I helped out the guy who did the systems work, and stuff, because I used to do that too. I didn't even write that down, but I used to do that. People had trouble with their computers and stuff, I'd go under their desk and, and stuff like that. But yeah, we had a 4-panel RAID array in that office.
What's a 4-panel? Is that like 4 10?
4 of them, yes.
So you had 40 hard drives?
4. Just 4.
4 hard drives?
Yeah, 4 hard drives in addition to the one that the actual computer was running. But they would separate. So when you back something up, when you back the original drive up, it would actually split it into 4 different. It would split the information in 4 different areas, 4 different RAIDs, so that you didn't lose all of your information if you had a hard drive go bad.
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about. Excuse me. Getting is because I hear, so like if you're like a kind of like a techie, especially if you're a photographer and a lot of your images on your computer, you're supposed to have. It's supposed to be like three like layers of protection or something like that. It's supposed to be like internal, which is your hard drive inside. Then you have to have like an external, which would be your, this maybe just a simple portable external hard drive, a RAID array, and then something that's off site. So like a a backup company that a cloud-based backup company that will store for you just in
I never
case.
thought of that. I don't
So,
trust that.
well,
But
you know,
yeah, they're
it's
yeah.
there's ways of going about it, you know, and I thought about doing that, you know. I got a couple. I have the cloud-based backup, but I don't have like an external backup happening right now,
Mhm.
and that's probably something I need to set up.
Yeah, and it's really not that difficult. Mine is, what is it? I can't even remember what it is. Where are you? Where did I put you? Um, it's a very well-known company. Um, it's
Seagate, probably.
what?
Seagate.
It's not Seagate. It's one of the other ones.
I don't know any other ones.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's got like I don't know how many terabytes on it that I can back up to. Um, and I like that, and it tells me when it's getting full. And so I already have one full that's up in the cupboard in the bookcase, really. And this one's not even half full yet.
Are
So
you a fan of solid state drives?
mm,
They're like this
yes,
big. They're like little bitty. They're like small jump drives.
yeah, not really. I guess because I grew up with having my nice big computer thingy here. I've got two um uh what are they, Paulette? I know what these things are.
A mon
Samsung, huh?
a monitor.
Two monitors. Yes, two monitors because I go back and forth so much, between. Um, I'm pretty high tech here. It's like I said, it's a gaming computer, and instead of just a regular, uh, nice computer, it's a gaming computer. It's
So, how often do you play Fortnite, and what's your gaming name?
I don't. Sorry.
um,
My gaming name. What would my gaming name be? Probably something like Fierce Photo or I don't know. A gaming name. What's your gaming name?
I don't have one.
There you go.
I don't
Okay.
have one.
And yet you expect me to have one. No.
Maybe you said you're a techie. You're into tech.
Yeah, well, I kind of had to drop off some of that when I started being a photographer, when I started doing electrical engineering and things of that nature. Certain things just have to go by the wayside because I can only hold so much of my head, at
What are
one
some
time.
cool things you had to do as an electrical engineer?
Oh, wow. Just, well, first of all, working with guys is really good. Um, and it's not because they hit on you or anything. They respect you, and they were always so very helpful. Um, I like part of me, I guess it's part of the artistic side of me because when you're designing the layout for any kind of factory or whatever, yes, you have to kind of know all the disciplines with being an electrical person because every discipline has some kind of electricity flowing through it. And a lot of the guys that are doing that, like structural and all that kind of stuff, they don't even realize it that they have to have electricity going to this or that or the other to run their motors for this, that, or the other. And so you kind of have to educate them, but at the same time, they educated me on structural and mechanical and stuff like that. I just like learning. Maybe that's what it is. I really like learning. And boy, you learn a lot. But the other neat part was when you have a piece of paper in front of you, well, actually, you have AutoCAD in front of you, and you get to route all of the electrical so that everything will hook up nicely in a panel without anything being, like something being up here that should be something down here, with it. Or I did one of the jobs I had to do panels that were outside in the Sahara Desert. And so I had to know, first of all, what the designation of that panel had to be so that it wouldn't explode out there in the desert. Secondly, I had to know where the electrical connections were coming from up through the ground so that I could put them on a rack system. And it was just really interesting. Oh, we're going to do it that way? Sure, cool, kind of thing. And then that place, I could actually go out into the factory where they were making these things, putting them actually together according to the drawings that we had done. And the guys would show me, now remember when you did this box and then you had this coming off, this cable coming off of it to this cable tray and stuff. And yeah, well, this is it right here. It's like, oh my God, so that was really cool. A lot of times I didn't get to see any of that because I was designing stuff in factories and everything, and they were built off site, of course, and stuff. So yeah, it was really quite interesting. It was kind of poked that geek in me. So, but yeah, I'm kind of older now, so I stepped away from that, and now I'm concentrating more on my art.
Indeed. How has AutoCAD changed through the times?
Oh wow, they've added so much more capability to it. As I went through college, I started designing 1996 or 7 that I started AutoCAD. And just the way that they upgraded the system so that you could do more with AutoCAD. I can't even explain it any better than that. But just that they had, they added different parts to it so that you could do different design elements, or they would add, like in electrical, they would add all kinds of what are those things called, Paulette? You remember?
Polygons?
Symbology. They would add symbology at they would increase the amount of symbology that you could use to show a receptacle, or show this, or wiring types and cable tray and all of that. It's just fascinating, really.
And all the while you're working, you were also capturing photos.
Yes, but I wasn't really that good at that point. It was because I was working so much. It was hard to get out and just find stuff to capture and stuff. Usually it was more street scenes, without people in the buildings and things of that nature. But once I got the Nikons, and when we were in Virginia, I could really go out and walk through the neighborhood and find things that I thought were interesting. Even just branches or thick trunks on a tree, and the way they moved, grew upward and stuff. I thought was, things like that are just very interesting to me. Maybe not to other people, but to me.
What kind of special techniques that you use when you are taking photos? I know you mentioned that you do panos. Like, what is that?
A panorama?
Yeah,
it's
like
the leprechaun signal. That was actually, I think it was 5 or 6 shots.
Okay.
And I brought it all in Photoshop. It has a way to stitch pictures together that are similar.
Mm-hmm.
That that Photoshop can tell when they will match. And sometimes you get something really funky if you don't stand exactly straight. You're trying to go like this, and sometimes you get up or down or whatever. And so you bring it in, and Photoshop stitches it together as well as it can, and you look at it and you go, oh damn. So then you have to within Photoshop you have to kind of make it so that everything is in a straight line. All your lines are straight and stuff like that. Sometimes you end up having to cut something off because it doesn't really fit. the picture anymore. So that's, but that's what I do. I like stitching things together like that.
Is there any other like special like photography features that you use that create a certain effect that you like to do?
Well, once in a while, every once in a while, I'll use well, I also have some effects that I can put with different photos. I can, make a scene either look like it's nighttime, or like it's, sunset, or like it's bright day, or whatever. And it's just different filters that I have built in. But in other places, I have another program. If the picture didn't really come out like I wanted it to, I can take it into this program that will make it look like a painting. And that's really pretty cool. And it just kind of runs by itself. I don't tell a lot of people this.
Uh-oh.
This is, but that's okay. It's, they know I do it. My peeps know I do it. But yeah, you have to set certain things up within it though before you can start. You have to do certain things to set the whole program up before you just press go on it. And it only takes like 3 or 4 minutes, and you have this beautiful this beautiful painting that you can still see the object that you took the picture of, but yet it looks like a watercolor, which I think is really cool. I've got a few of those on my website too. I don't do too many of those anymore, but they're so pretty.
So I got a question here. It's kind of like a two-parter, because
Okay.
I want you to answer it in two different frames.
Okay.
Okay. So, what kind of advice can you give to other artists in just general advice, and then advice more along the lines of like business, like how can an artist function as a business?
Ooh, I'm figuring that out myself.
What have you gathered so far?
What? Say that again.
What have you gathered so far?
Okay. It's not just that you take pretty pictures. Okay. Anybody can take a pretty picture. It's that you have to find a place, like you were just talking about. It's the picture itself, but you also have to find a good place where you want a lot of people to see it. And that's probably the hardest thing, is finding that place. Because, you saw the number of websites I have, or where I'm putting my stuff.
Pixel, Fine Art America.
Yeah.
Pixels.
I'm on Fine Art America. I think I closed down the Pixel side. No, I didn't. It's still up. I just don't use that one anymore. It just automatically goes to Pixels. That's where I started really finding. No, I didn't. I can't remember the name of the one that I did, but I lost all my photos there. But
Saatchi.
I'm getting started on Saatchi. A good friend of mine who is an artist, Ryan Fox. You should interview him. He is really cool. He's really good. Anyway, Ryan, his advice is to get it on as many websites as you can, because you can't be overexposed. So I'm taking his advice, and I'm already on Fine Art America, and of course with that I'm on Pixels. I have there are some websites that I just didn't really feel comfortable going on to, and I can't even remember the name of them. I just don't go to them anymore. But I just signed up for Saatchi, and I will direct people to my Art Storefronts site if they want to buy something, because that's what he does. He takes people to his Etsy site. That's what he prefers. I prefer people to go to my Art Storefront site. So I'll just keep doing that, and gradually get on different sites. Especially in Saatchi, you don't have to pay for, which I like.
Fine Art America, you have to pay for?
Yes, but it's like to sell your art. Fine Art America is like $30 a year. What you do?
Pixels, you have to pay?
It comes with Fine Art America.
Oh, they're the same.
They are the same. Pixels is just their other side where you can do artsy fartsy looking, stuff like that. But
Okay.
it's the same. It's exactly. They take everything from your Fine Art America and put it on Pixels.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I actually art storefronts contacted me. Apparently they saw my art and my pictures and stuff, and they are pricey. And I I don't want to say desperate, but I just wanted to get my name out there. And so I bought the 3-year program. And I didn't tell my husband until tax time. He was like, "You paid that much for that?" Yeah, honey. I love that man. But yeah, it's pricey. But man, the support that you get from their people is awesome. It really is. So, and I haven't, I started up about the time that the pandemic came on board. So I haven't really sold that much, but I'm still plugging away, and like everybody else, just putting it out there and as best I can, and that's all you can do.
You say that you're in shows. What kind of shows are you in?
Oh yeah. Um, they're okay. Different municipalities, different galleries put out what they call a call for artists, and they usually do it about 2 to 3 months ahead of time, so you have a lot of time to figure out what you're going to do, if you're going to enter or not. And they give you the criteria, like okay, say it's going to be just old buildings. That's really what the whole show is going to be, is old buildings. So it's like, okay, I won't do that one, or I won't put my effort forth. But they're juried shows, which if you get an award from a jury show, that's a big deal. So the more you can build up on those awards, the better, that people will look at you. They'll look at you and say, "Wow, she's pretty good," and stuff like that. And I've won some awards. I've actually won second place once. I have not won a first place yet, but I won second place a couple times. But so they put out this call. You submit all your information. Usually it's your name and phone number and how you're going to pay for it, and then you upload your photographs or your images that you want the juror to look at, and then they come back with either, "Hey, you've been accepted, you got to send your art by a certain date," and yada yada yada, or they come back and say, "We're sorry that you didn't get chosen. None of your stuff got chosen." And it's a crapshoot, but it gets you out there. People begin to see you and know your work, and it's just a way to get noticed. So that's what those jury shows, those art shows are, the galleries. You can also get into a gallery that way, but it's not really through a show. It's just you have to keep plugging that, pushing your stuff to them, and say, "How about now? Do you like this? Do you like this?" And everything. And eventually you'll get into either 1 or 2 galleries. And that's really where the money is. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be in a gallery?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I don't, sometimes I'm ambiguous about it.
I don't know how.
Go ahead.
I don't know how galleries function with regards to photographers. Do they only allow you to do like series? Like you have to do you can do like 50 prints of that specific photo?
No, they usually it's just the galleries that I have been in. It's like you put whatever you want, by photographs.
Yeah.
Only one. And if that one sells, that one sells. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
You come and get your stuff at the end of the period. Usually it's like a month. Some galleries will do 3 months, but most of them that I've been in will only do 1 month of your artworks. And like I said, if they sell, great. If something sells, yay. And I've actually sold through galleries before. So I think with the pandemic though, it's just been so slow. And people, you know, a lot of galleries closed their doors,
Yeah.
not permanently, but you know, they had to close their doors because they just couldn't handle, you know, all the masking and everything that they had to do to protect the art that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're opening up, you know, especially here in North Carolina, where a lot of us have already been vaccinated and stuff. It's getting better. So I am submitting to several galleries to see if I can get some of my pieces in, just, you know, 2 or 3,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be fine with that. So we'll see.
Well, good luck on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any dream projects?
Dream projects. Wow, that's a good question. Dream project would be, well, not really well, it's more like having a dream. Oh, what do they call those? Patron, a dream patron.
A dream patron.
Someone who is so
Jeff
enamored.
Bezos.
Yes, yes. I should start sending him pictures of my art. Um, yeah, that would be a dream patron. Somebody who is so enamored of the work that you do that they will buy multiple pieces. I have a friend of mine who's he's a painter. I mean, not a wall painter, but he's a very good painter. Dan Campbell. You should interview him too. Um, he is so good. He has built up a network. Of course, he's been doing this for like 20 some years now. He's built up a network in this area of, you know, people just come to him and say, I want to buy that. You know, it's like, really? I want to be at that point. I want people to call me and say, I saw this on your website. I want to buy it. You know,
I
that's
had
what
I heard a quote from a friend, and the quote went along the lines of like, "It takes 5 years to be an overnight success."
yes.
I thought
And
that
so,
was a really good quote.
I do. I like that because that's the truth. You know, it it takes a lot of time and effort to
Yeah,
get done.
people see you and like, how's this person doing so well? Like you didn't see the struggles that were happening for the past 8 years, you
Exactly.
know,
And
and
all
then
of us always understand that, you know, because not everybody, I mean, Dan worked a lot to get where he is now. He
yeah,
really did. So I don't begrudge any artist who is doing well. That's that's great. Good on you, and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
After being, you know, president of the fine art of an art league and then board chairman and stuff, I saw so many success stories. People who would come in and um, like they were just starting out painting, and they took classes and they got so much better and so much better and so much better, and now they're just selling art just right and left, and it's like I am so happy for them,
mhm.
really. You know, you can't begrudge anybody. Otherwise, I thought, oh, my dog is at the door, um, because the universe sees that. That's what I believe in. Is there's a power out there. I don't know whether it's God. I don't know whether, you know, what it is, but I know the universe is always watching, and you always have to be careful what you say and what you do. You got to be kind to people. You have to treat people like they're worth something. You have to be like that. It doesn't matter the color of their skin or their religion or whatever. Know that they have struggles just like you do, and just go with it, you know? That's my belief. Ta-da.
Would you like to
Thank
share
you.
some words of wisdom for the viewers?
Well, if you're an artist, either a portrait artist or, you know, whatever medium you work in, whether it's photography or painting or whatever it is you do, collage, whatever, just stick with it. Be happy with what you're doing. Don't disparage anybody, art. I'm always complimenting people on their art. You have to be that way because the universe is always watching. And if you are upset that somebody else is selling more than you, well, that does you no good. That takes points away, points in the bank. You're always building those points in the bank. And if you do things like that, you're depleting your bank account. That's really all I can say is be kind, do what you do, and do it well.
Speaking of bank account, do you have any financial advice you'd like to share?
Oh, dear God. Not really, because I probably have a tendency to spend more money on art than anything. Well, not art, but in doing my art, especially paint. I have so much paint in my studio right now.
Yeah.
I don't have all of my art studio set back up. We were gonna sell our house like a year and a half ago, and so we have 2 storage units now with stuff in it. And now we're starting to bring stuff home, and I don't have my studio set up, so I can't paint. So I'm concentrating on my photography right now. But I don't know even where I was going with this. What did you ask me?
Financial advice.
Oh, financial advice. Don't overspend. If you can't afford it now, don't worry about it. Just use what you've got to the best of your ability. And when something sells, then you can go out and buy what you need. Or, but don't put so much money into it that you're bankrupting yourself. That you've got a $6,000 credit card, balance, continually. And that's just not good. That's not good at all. Just work with what you've got, be happy about it, go on your merry way, and eventually things will come to you.
So you're saying when I sell a piece of art, I go out to the bank, take out a large personal loan, and buy a
no
and buy a Lamborghini?
Well, yeah, you could, but no, that's not.
I sold some art, so art Lamborghini, right?
Yeah.
No. Paulette,
only if you're gonna paint that Lamborghini and sell it.
Yeah. Well, I had to sell as much as Lamborghini. Paulette, I just want to say thank you so much for speaking with me and sharing a little bit about your art, a little bit about your life. Really do appreciate it. Before we go, would you care to share where people can find you online?
Oh, wow. I am on Art Storefronts. That's my main website now. It is http://writefineart.biz on Art Storefronts. I am also on Fine Art America as, I think it's just as Paulette B. Wright. And you can just go on Fine Art America, search for Paulette Wright, and actually come up. I am on Instagram as Write Fine Art. I am on Facebook as both, on my regular Facebook page, I'm just Paulette Wright. On my other page, on my artsy page, I'm Write Fine Art. That's really about it, I think. Yeah, that's really about it. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Paul.
Anyway.
Thank you so much, Paulette. Thank you, everyone that was watching. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just made 100 subscribers. I am so thankful for that. It took me forever. Guess what? It took me 125 live streams to get 100.
Where do I sign up?
What's up?
Where do I sign up for your website?
Oh, I'll give you that information later.
Okay, cool. That'd be awesome.
Yes, definitely. So thank you so much, everyone. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Pearson out.
Bye.
Bye.